Alright, here is my today's project. So this car only have 3,000 kilo so far, and the last time I did an oil change on it, I already found oil leak in the back of the valve cover. And believe it or not, this is a very common problem with FK8. Happened to my 19 and again happened to my new one. So since I am well, I can claim warranty, but I decided to do it myself. I worked for Honda before, and I'm lucky to actually, get the valve cover gasket and all necessary parts, including the Honda bond and stuff, under warranty for free. So I'm gonna do it myself. And since the valve cover is out, might as well paint it to make it look better. Okay, this is the valve cover that I removed from my vehicle. The plastic valve cover, because Honda want to cut costs and also save weight. So I use plastic, and it is in like new condition because my car only has less than 3,000 kilo on it. So I decided to reuse it instead of buying a new one. So since it's used, you have to clean it thoroughly with degreaser, and then I use a blow gun. I have a compressor at home. I use a blow gun to blow off all the dust, and then I use a squat pad to sand down the surface a little bit. Blow it out again, and then I use alcohol to clean all the surface so it's free of fingerprint or any grease possible. And then I'm gonna use adhesion promoter to help the paint stick to the surface. But before I spray on it, I'm just waiting for my 3D printer to finish all this jam nut so I can cover up all this screw hole. I already tape up all the lip posts and jam up all this opening. So maybe in another 10 minutes all the print is gonna be ready, and I can spray the promoter on it and paint the cover. Okay, now the valve cover is ready to go. It's ready to get spray. The first layer of promoter, I print a whole bunch of this small jam nut to jam up all the opening, all the screw holes, and I also tape up the side so I won't overspray to the inside, the underside of the valve cover. Okay, I'm gonna, and then again use alcohol to clean off all the possible fingerprint from it, and then I use a blow gun to blow off all the dust. So now it's ready to go. Okay, now I've sprayed a layer of adhesion promoter on it, so I'm just gonna wait for it to dry a little bit. Then I will spray the wrinkle paint on it. So in order to use the adhesion promoter, you don't wait until it completely dry, like half an hour or like an hour and something like that. You basically wait like 10 minutes and then you spray the paint on it. So and for the best result, I space up the valve cover a little bit so the paint will get to won't drip down the edge. Okay, so after 3 to 4 complete coat of the wrinkle paint, the cover is pretty good. And as you can see, well, I don't have a paint booth here at home, so I just do it at my garden. And luckily enough, we are pretty warm here and we have direct sunlight, so the UV actually help cure it. And you can see the wrinkle pattern is already developing. I would say it turns out pretty good. Okay, can't wait to put it on. Okay, so I have it dry overnight and also bake it in the oven at 200 Fahrenheit for about an hour. So now this is completely dry and you can see the result is amazing. So you got to use a new Honda bond, and the valve cover gasket, and make sure you put the Honda bond around this 4 spot, right here, right there, and right there. And I have taped up anything that could possibly get in the way and scratch my valve cover. So everything is taped, so in case I just want a clear passage so I can drop it off and tighten it down. One thing I found funny is Honda actually recommend a higher torque spec for this sensor than the bolt to go down and tighten the valve cover. So it's weird. So I worked at Ford before. According to my experience, Ford also used plastic valve cover, and the torque spec would be roughly around 50 to 60 inch-pound. So I'm going to do the same with this valve cover to make sure it doesn't leak. Okay, so after 25-30 minutes of wrenching, the valve cover is now back on the vehicle. It looks pretty good. Let's take a closer look. So the wrinkle finish where we stand actually stands out pretty well. So this batch, I just got it from a local accessory store, so to make it look better instead of just an empty spot there. And since I have the valve cover removed, I may as well install a mission motor oil catch can that I removed from my old car. The reason why it's a little bit crooked is because I'm gonna save this spot for the fast fuel kit. Other than that, this car at the moment is pretty stock except for the intake, so I'm still waiting for the whole bunch of parts to sew up. The titanium intake pipe is now on back order. Okay, so the reason why I want to paint this valve cover is because I have to remove the valve cover. It was leaking, so I was going to fix it and might as well paint it. And the reason why I want to paint it red is because I don't want the fake carbon fiber cover on top of the engine valve cover. I believe it actually trap heat, of the engine. This car is known to overheat, so I don't want any useless plastic piece to cover it and possibly trap heat. So okay, so this is the look of the engine bay right now. I'm gonna take the car to the track in 3 days to test it out in its stock form before I put a whole bunch of parts on it and dyno tune it like my old 2019. So stay tuned for my build.